Hey everyone, it's Oracle of the West. I'm back with Chapter 6 of Ceremony, Intimacy, and Ancient Sacred Sites. This chapter title is Gateways into Celestial Space. It starts out with a quote from Williams. Andean cosmology informs us that all elements of the earth are connected by a web of living energy, Kase Pacha in Quechua. In this way, it's connected to Pachamama. Pachamama is not only the ground on which we live and that supports all things, but it is also imbued with life-giving energy. In Peru, the most potent aspects of nature are believed to possess not only life but intelligence. In particular, plants such as corn, coca, tobacco have this active intelligence. In that moment on top of the pyramid of the sun, you fell out of time like you'd hit a quantum wormhole. Then you unified with the eco field and the other living beings who had dwelled in that sacred space long ago. Talbot had described this feeling as psychics able to access the past of a particular archaeological site. I experienced a calling toward Teotihuacan to explore deeply and spend time getting to know the ancient sacred site. I believed it was possible. A gateway had opened with the warm invitation from the yellow butterflies. With their light and stillness, I felt connected to the whole and to the beauty of this ancient land. An idea emerged for a full, immersive exploration of Teotihuacan. The sheer size of the landscape had held a civilization of thousands, with markets, celebrations, and knowledge of the Pleiades and the stars. My mind overflowed with questions. Would this exploration lead to an intimacy with the ancient sacred site, like a communication with the trans world, transient realities, as Elaide had described? Could I tap into Teotihuacan as a living being, a transcendental being with wisdom to share and profound lessons to teach? What secrets were there to discover in the underworld, the upper world? What artistic elements would be revealed? On the facade of the Temple of Quetzalcoatl there were sculptures of waves, seashells, and enormous busts of ancient gods. What secrets lay hidden about these artistic creators, and what wisdom would they offer for us today? I began journaling new ideas about ceremony and intimacy with ancient sacred sites as living beings. This was something you could explore for years, and then out of your study a new paradigm might emerge. If you exposed yourself, if you jumped in, if you allowed your life to flow into the unknown and hang out there feeling vulnerable, then some deep esoteric messages might emerge. What a powerful calling. But what tools would I use for this exploration? One of the pieces I'd use to unlock the puzzle would be ceremony. Ceremony is an old tool that resonates deeply in our hearts like the low pitch of a conch shell call. It is a process from the east, from the south, and has roots in all the sacred directions and in all spiritual paths. If you honored the sacred from your heart with offerings of talismans like a cross, a St. Benedict medal, flowers, stones, feathers, candles, scented leaves, or inspiring pictures, then through ceremony you could experience a blessed closeness and a connection with the divine. It was possible. Next, add your dreams. Dreams are profound tools that you can use to explore an ancient sacred site. Information might flow into your consciousness if you feel open to this possibility. Sometimes this could emerge as waking dreams, where an experience during the day might feel dreamlike and as soft as running your palm across a pair of suede boots. This was what happened when Sarah and I became lost after our hike up the Pyramid of the Moon. It started out as a soft experience, but then built up step by step as we strode through the town of San Sebastian. Being lost didn't jump out at us, but as we progressed, we felt confused and disoriented, like we'd descended into a dream. We felt out of sync with time, as if we'd passed through a gateway. And now here's a quote from Coupe. Your mind at a very deep level is acknowledging that you've gone through a portal. Reflect on the commingling and marriage of what happened to you in reality. Now you know it on a deep level. That's a huge piece, the dream and the connection, walking through the wall, and how the layout of the land resonated when you got lost, how it sounded. You were on a bus, and when time and space was missing, this dream was like when you get lost. Teo was telling you, yes, you really did do this. You went through a portal. You passed through the test and you were okay. This is a huge quantum dream. To add to the feeling of being in a waking dream, Teotihuacan is peppered with openings into the underworld. The megalithic site is constructed over a landscape of caves, making the underworld touchable in this place. Everywhere you look while hiking around the grounds, you notice hollowed-out landscape edges where caves descend far into the earth. Teotihuacanos locals told stories of how dangerous the caves are, stories about teenagers who had explored the shadows and never returned. Then there are the tunnels. These musty depths connect underneath the Pyramid of the Sun, the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, and most recently tunnels have been discovered under the Pyramid of the Moon. This exploration started with the underworld as a path to intimacy. I had a hunch that there were secrets lying in the Teo underworld. The Temple of Women and the Temple of Quetzalcoatl would form a foundation, and I felt this would be the pathway to begin. But I didn't know what I was getting myself into, for the underworld at Teotihuacan had once been expressly demonic. When we were talking about the locals, we learned that Siguenza had discovered that when the Aztecs had lived on this land, they introduced dark practices like human sacrifice. As a living being, perhaps those were some of the stories that Teo wanted me to know, for experiences came forward that were terrifying. But for some time, I didn't notice this connection, and fell hard into the chasms of the underworld.